Jama-ah is holding a rally this morning in Lenasia, that's south of Johannesburg. The party is expected to share some of its strategies ahead of next year's local elections. Nqobile Madlala is at that event and joins us live now. And I believe Nqobile is with a guest. And a little bit earlier, they were detailing their strategy, their hopes as well for the local elections heading into next year, Nqobile.
Well, definitely. I mean, the strategy is also to have more footprint in the city of Johannesburg. But further beyond that, we know that there is an aim for the province to also see more footprint from Jama-ah. But my guest now will speak to us in terms of the national picture, because as a member of parliament, you have to deal with so much as Jama-ah, especially when it comes to the GNU. Perhaps just give us, in terms of your role in the GNU, what is it that your strategy now going to the local elections is?
Assalamu alaikum, good day to all. So currently I'm a member of parliament for the Jama-ah political party. And, you know, there's been a lot of change because the GNU is something new to all of us. So we're obviously navigating the waters around the GNU, and we've had a lot of flack, even as Jama-ah being part of the GNU. But what we have always done is to put the people of our country first. And that is what the GNU is about. And Jama-ah is extremely pro-poor, and that is why we have a deputy minister who currently is in social development, because of the nature of our essence as Jama-ah. We are pro-poor. We are known for our work for the most marginalized, for the most oppressed, and for the upliftment and empowerment of people. So within the GNU structures, that is one of the criteria in the GNU, the upliftment and the empowerment of our people, especially those who are struggling and suffering the most. And this is what we have seen, actually, amongst the GNU partners. And I think that we have seen it quite clearly when it came to the 2% VAT hike that was possible, and how the negotiations happened with regard to partners in the GNU to ensure that that VAT hike did not happen. So it is putting the people of the country first, and that is what the GNU is supposed to be about, and we should not deflect and get distracted with regard to that particular aspect. So on a national front, I think I would want to see from the Jama-ah side that we continue to uplift and empower, especially with local elections coming up into the different wards and VDs, etc., how we can actually benefit our people through the GNU on a national front as well as local and provincial.
And talking about local and provincial, we know that you're also part of the portfolio in terms of the international relations in terms of South Africa and other countries. But we have seen, of course, what has taken place between the U.S. and South Africa quite lately, making headlines all around the world. Let's look at how Jama-ah can contribute in that space.
On the U.S. space, so we've seen our president of our country go over to U.S., and I think we need to understand the reasons why. Much of the aid, PEPFAR, etc., has been removed from South Africa, and many African countries are affected by aid that has been removed by America. So ultimately, we've also seen Ibrahim Rasool removed as ambassador from America as well. And we've seen the situation within America with a president who is exceptionally erratic in his behavior, and it's affecting people globally. So I must say, we're looking at President Ramaphosa going over. What was that about? It was an attempt to mediate to the benefit of the people of South Africa. Because we have to mediate, we have to negotiate, and we have to be diplomatic, because international relations is vital. It impacts not just on country to country, but it impacts on our very poor and vulnerable. And we have seen that with PEPFAR, with the aid being removed. Currently, strategies and money needs to be found in order to help our people with HIV and AIDS, amongst other aspects. So I think negotiation, mediation, without falling into the trap of losing our identity as South Africans, without being bullying and victimized, is very important. If there's one thing out of international relations that the dynamics has taught us in our geopolitical world that we're navigating, and all the conflict and the war and the genocide, is that, one, we should not be bullied, we should not be victimized. We can attempt to mediate for the benefit of our people, but as South Africans, it is important that we learn to be independent of other countries. And we also need to realize that South Africa has enough resources. We have enough going in our own country to make Africa one of the world powers, to be honest. But we have lost our independence in our dependency on other countries. How many of our resources of our country has been given to other countries? where that resources should be manufactured, it should be maintained, and the end product should be sold to other countries. If you look at our mining structures, etc., I've been in the Northwest, and it saddens me to see that we're sitting with the minerals, but our people of our country is not benefiting from the resources, but others are benefiting. So these are all aspects in the geopolitical world and our international relations when we're looking at trade and our relationship with other countries that we need to consider. We've got the G20 coming up. We've got, we are part of BRICS. We've got trade partners as like China, who people doesn't even know how much China has done for us. They're our biggest trade partner. They're there to empower and uplift us. Russia is our other trade partner. So we need to look at those partners who is willing to contribute to our infrastructure, contribute to our GDP, contribute to empowerment and upliftment of our people. That is where we need to look at, and we need to stop looking at those entities that wants to be dictators and victimize South Africa. Look towards those that will uplift and empower us. So we spoke a little bit earlier about public participation, and one of the things in international relations on our oversight and what we've introduced as the International Relations Portfolio Committee is the public participation on grassroots level. How important is that? International relations is seen as this elitist portfolio. Why? Public participation is in the Constitution on every aspect, but international relations, trade and what is of benefit to our people has been withheld. So we say, take international relations to the villages, to the township, to the traditional leaders, take it to the ground so that our people can benefit.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is Shameemah Salie, and she's speaking to us, of course, as a member of parliament for Al Jama-ah. Very important things there, taking international relationships, Nqobile, into our townships. That's very important because those are things that have not been discussed, and she's saying that's possible.
Nqobile, thank you so much for bringing us that. Of course, a significant part of the GLU as well as the GNU then is Al Jama-ah, so very interesting conversation.